So let's see if I can make this monitor run fine again. Currently, as you can see, it's doing all kind of shenanigans. And I did manage to make it run previously. Also, it correctly ran after booting up, but I've since had this PC laying around for a week, maybe two. I came back and this is what I got. And the issue with the monitor, well, it was 144 Hz. Obviously, it cannot run at this frequency anymore anyway. And I went to ask ChatGPT, can I do anything about it on Linux? Because you do have some options on Windows, and it's pretty straightforward, not so much on Linux though. So the first thing that you need to do is open the terminal. Luckily, I do know where it is because I basically cannot see anything. So now I can't make any typos. Otherwise, I will not know what the error message will be. I will type in xrender and press enter. And this should give you some monitor displays. But because I only have like 1 second, I don't really see what those options would be. But maybe I will just go over the instructions that I have used previously. So next will be xrender output HDMI -1 space -- mode. Oh, look at that. I actually can see. And hopefully this will last me a lot longer than intended. No! So pressing minus, or in this case I have no idea, F11, made me go into this mode. So for some reason full screen terminal runs just fine, but not the background. Okay, so for some reason I have to press the Fn key to get to the minus. So I guess by default I'm actually using F11. And hopefully I'll be able to show you. Oh, you cannot see. So in this case I managed to go into full screen mode using the F11 key, and for some reason I have to press Fn and F11 on my keyboard to make a minus. So just by pure luck, when I wanted to type in the minus, I made the terminal full screen and the monitor does work, as you can see, but it does not work when it is not full screen. But if I use the F11, then the monitor should pick up and work, as you can see. So we have xrender command. It will give you all of the display outputs. I actually want to run this at 2560 by 1440p, not 1920 by 1080. And we do see that DP1 is connected and it has that resolution. And supposedly it is running at 47.93 Hz. So the preset that I made is not recognized, I would say. In any case, I have this. So it is CVT 1920. No X, just 1080. And the refresh rate. So this is the line that you should see. So you have the resolution, you have the frame rate, you have x-axis pixels 1920, and the refresh rate for those pixels, and 1080 and refresh rate for those pixels. So copy. We can now make a new resolution. So xrender, new mode, right click, paste this in. And now when you add this new mode, make sure that you actually use the same name that you used here. Add mode. You want to add this mode to the display port. In this case, my HDMI 1 port is called DP-1, And now I have to input the name, so 1920 by 1080 underscore, and previously I was just using 48, yeah, it's 48 Hertz. Well, actually you have to use the dot if you have dot in the name. So this display mode has now been added, and we can make sure that this mode is actually being output. And now I'm back to the 1920 by 1080 mode, and this mode has now been added to the preferences. So if I go to the display settings, so previous I had one for 2560 by 1440p, and this one does not work. And I made now one custom one for 1920 by 1080. Now if I go to this one and use 48 Hertz, I'm assuming this will not work, so the monitor does need to run at lower frequency, as you can see. So I will click revert. So maybe I will actually have to use the monitor at 1920 by 1080 until it really craps out. I believe this monitor is like only 5 years old, and it's been this way for over 2 years or for over 3. I forgot how long the warranty was, but it gave out basically 1 month after the warranty ended. So previously the monitor was good to run at 48 Hz, so 2560. 1440, and previously 48 was working, now it does not, but still I can see what the difference will be. Now since I know for a fact that this resolution does not work at 48 Hz, maybe drop it to 42. Now you can use lower values. I believe 48 is basically the minimum that this monitor would output an image. I can try maybe 42 and see if this will work. Now I need to make a new mode, paste this in, new mode added, well, new mode made. I now have to add the mode. The mode was added, let's check. Yep, it was. So I can now click apply. I don't have to apply it via the terminal. Will anything show up though? Not really. So let's revert it. So I guess I'm kind of stuck on 1920 by 1080. As for the refresh rate, you saw that 60 is out of the picture, maybe 50. If 50 does not work, then the monitor is pretty much on its last legs, but it does work at 50. So maybe I will try to bump it up as much as I can. Maybe 58. Let's go with 58. New mode should be added. Do I see it? I actually do not. Oh, and that's because I used 180 instead of 1080. When you use the CVT command, you do have to use the correct values. Otherwise, you will get improper frequency. So now let's see if this mode will be stable. Not really. Would I use it? I could use it with the project because it's glitchy-like, but I don't want that many glitches. So I think I'll just use 50 Hz, and I now also want to make this so that it persists when I power on the PC. So let's hop into our friend GPT. Now what we want to achieve is basically launching these commands and one additional command automatically when the PC starts up. Otherwise you would have to go into the display settings and set the resolution and refresh rate and hit apply. But if the monitor is blinking, or maybe not even turning on for more than 1 second, you will have a tough time doing that. So in that case, what you have to do is open the terminal. I already have it. And the command is supposed to be nano. Now I have to use the tilde command. Since I don't know where it is on this keyboard now, I'll simply copy this one, paste it. Then you have the forward slash dot extra enter, and basically make this a file name. So what should I call it? Set startup refresh rate. So we are currently making a script that will launch and set all of the monitor parameters as soon as it comes in. So I have launched a second terminal, right-clicking and using new window. Why? Because you do need the previous values if you want to do this. And because I did not have a mode set manually using 50 Hz, I will use the one with the 48 Hz. And to get to the mode or the creation of a script, I have used this line. This then opens this notepad, let's say. You will then make a bin bash script, hashtag, exclamation point, /bin, /bash, extra enter, and then new mode with the profiles that you have set. Then we'll add that new mode and we will output it automatically. So you don't have to click and change the resolution and refresh rate. So the output is basically clicking on the apply. Just make sure that you use the actual video outputs, in my case DP1, even though this is HDMI 1 port. So this will be it. I will use Ctrl O and enter to save the file, and it will be put under home OEM. Let's see if it actually finds it. So home OEM, and we have this one, extra enter set startup refresh rate SH SVP. So let's see if I do have a previous, so it's actually this one, and I had a previous script. Let's maybe look at it. So previously I guess I have set it to 57 Hz using these values. Do I have that available? I do not. Strange. Maybe I'll just run the script and see if it works. So let's see, run it. Anything? Nope. Oh yeah, maybe F11 will save the day. Maybe. Not quite. So this monitor is definitely on its last legs. As you saw, this script did not run. It used 2560 by 1440 at 57 Hz. So that one is a no-go. Now I do have this script, but currently I would have to launch it manually, which is not good, especially if the monitor is pretty much blacked out. So what can we do? Well, we can make it into a launchable script. And how can we make it into an executable? Well, we use chmod, let's see, +x, and then we have this tilde again that I have to copy, / dot, and the name of the script, which is this one. Rename, copy, right click, paste, get rid of the dot, just one dot. So this will make it into an executable file, but now you then actually have to add this file also to the startup boot sequence. And how we'll do that? Let's see. Type in start, go to startup applications. And as you can see, I do have this one, set low refresh rate. You can simply use +, use custom command, or choose an application. I will go to edit, set name. I will just add startup, set low refresh rate. As for the command, this was the command, it was not an application. And you simply browse to the file. So OEM, though I guess you can't just locate it like so. You have to type it in. So I will copy this section of the file. So I have to type in bash home, in this case it's OEM, the name of the PC. I will leave the dot because I have not copied it, and paste the new file in. Click on save, and this should now launch when the PC starts up. Will that actually be the case? So I will, let's see, I will also shut it down. I have also set it on this mini PC so that it wakes up on USB key. So either a keyboard or a mouse input. So it has shut down. I will simply click on the mouse and the PC will boot up. It is already booting. In this case, the monitor is still displaying artifacts, but once it gets into Linux, as you can see, it runs just fine. Fine. I still see some pixels misbehaving, so even this refresh rate at 1920 by 1080 is on its last legs, I would say. And the last thing that I would do is run a script in a... So that is how you can change and also tweak refresh rates on Linux. Other Linux distros also have the same or similar approaches, at least when it comes to the terminal. When it comes to the UI, that I would not know. But you can let me know in the comments down below. And if you have any malfunctioning monitors, maybe you can repurpose them and lower the refresh rate to get them working again. That's it for this video, and we'll do something else in the next one.